Welcome back, boys and girls. So I want to review the two word problems I gave you guys yesterday in SeeSaw. So these are word problems, and they're kind of tricky because they're multi-step. Okay, so that's kind of like the tricky part about them. And boys and girls, I want to make sure that we understand that we do have to describe the numbers because it helps us understand what's going on. So please follow along. So let's start with the first one I gave you guys. So it says, for the first football game of the season, 62,732 fans attended. The number of fans at the second game was 469 more than at the first game. What is the total number of fans that attended the first two games? So let's work with our first piece of information. The first piece of information, and it actually goes in line with what I told you guys yesterday, kind of start off with, is there a total? Is there a total, yes or no? And whenever you're looking for a total, whenever you're looking for it, you're either going to add or multiply. So let's head back to our question. If I could scroll quickly enough. In our question, we notice that the question is asking for it. What is the total? So in this question in particular, it is asking us to look for the total, which tells us look for the total. So sorry I don't write that fast. Which tells us to add. So we're adding in this operation. So now let's go ahead and go into our numbers with our descriptions. It is 62,732 fans for what? The first football game. Football. Okay, so we have that first piece of information. Now, let's go ahead and go to the second piece of information, which is the second number, which is 469 more than. So 469 more than the first game. So let me stop right here because this is going to be the confusing part. In this problem, we're trying to infer where it's a multi-step problem. So we will have to add these numbers, but not because that's going to give us our final answer. We do have to add 469 to 62,732 because we first have to find what is the amount for the second game. Because we don't have that. We don't have that number. But again, how do we get it? Because it says more. And more by itself tells us to add. So 469 more to the first game. So let's add that together. Okay, let me actually start here in blue. Okay, so 62,732 plus 469. 2 plus 9 is 11. Carry over the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus 6 is 10. I carry over the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. Plus 4 is 12. Carry over the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. And then just bring down the 6. And of course, also bring down your comma. Okay. So I have a total of 63,201. But boys and girls, that is not our final answer. This only tells me the number for the second game. Okay, and this is a tricky part because now that I have the number for the second game, then I have to go back and put it together to find both games. I hope that makes sense. And again, you have to kind of rewind if you're kind of lost at this point. Okay, so let me repeat it. And I know people hate when I repeat it, but you know, for redundancy, right? So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 62,732 plus my new second game total, which is 63,000 201. And the reason why I'm adding that again, I keep on saying again and again. But for redundancy's sake, what I did first is that I grabbed the number for my second game. And that number is what gave me my second game fans attended. So if we write it out, we kind of understand the description as to what exactly is going on. And that's why I had to add these numbers together to equal 2 plus 1 equals 3, 3 plus 0 is 3, 7 plus 2 is 9, carry down the comma, 2 plus 3 is 5, and 6 plus 6 is 12. So the total amount of fans for both games is 125,933 for both games. Okay, that was the final answer. Now going to the second question, we kind of find the same thing on our second question. It is also a multi-step problem. Daisy's flower shop sold 135,649 flowers during its first year. In the second year, the shop sold an additional 9,754 flowers. How many flowers did the shop sell in these 2 years? So we find that these two problems are very similar and very alike. And again, along with the first one, we are looking for a total. We're looking for it because we're looking for an entire amount of flowers that were sold in these 2 years. Okay, looking for a total. You're looking for the entire amount of the flowers that were sold, which tells me that I have to add, okay, the first year plus whatever comes out the second year. The problem with this question and the previous one is that we know that we have to add the first year, and we know that we have to add it to the second year. But the problem is that we have to find out what exactly that second year is. Let's look at our numbers. We have our first number is 135,600. Oh man, my pen's acting up a little. 135,649 flowers in the first year. And let me take some shortcuts because I don't want to make this video too long. So it's a first year. I'm going to just put first. And then I have 9,754 flowers sold in addition to first year. So look at, whenever I describe it, boys and girls, look at how I'm describing this. It's the 9,754 flowers in addition to the first, which will equal my second year. And this is what throws off a lot of people that I mentioned in the previous problem. So what we have to do, we first have to find out what that second number is. And that second number, we would add 135,649 plus 9,754. 9 plus 4 is 13. 1 plus 4 is 5. And plus another 5 is 10. Carry over the 1. And then I have 1 plus 6 is 7. Plus 7 is 14. Carry down a comma. The 1 from the 14. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 9 is 15. Carry over the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, and then 1. We have my second year is going to be 145,403. That's only for my second year. And so I have to come back. I have to come back and put it with my first year. 135,649 plus 145,403. And I add those two together. So 9 plus 3 is 12. Carry over the 1. And the 1 plus 4 is 5. 6 plus 4 is 10. carry over the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 5 is 11, carry over the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 4 is 8. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. So my final answer is going to be 281,052 flowers sold both years. So boys and girls, again, we have to be very careful with our verbiage, and we have to kind of describe the numbers. I know it's an extra step, but boys and girls, it will help you understand what's going on whenever you know exactly what those numbers mean. Because numbers, of course, they're numbers, but we have to kind of understand how what they mean in context to whatever the problem is. So write a description of what those numbers represent. Okay, now I want to go over to what we will be doing in SeeSaw today. So on here we have a new problem, but this one's a little bit different. As you notice, this one has decimal points. And I want to kind of do another word problem with decimals. So let's read this one first. Maggie had $35.13. Then her mom gave her $7.50 each of the 2 times she watched her younger brother. How much money does Maggie have now? Okay, so we're in here. We are looking for a total. Again, we are looking for a total, which tells me that I'm going to either add or multiply. So let's go back to our chart. We have our words. The words that we're using is that we're looking for a total. That's for sure. We're looking for a total. But not only that, but we also have the word each. And when we are looking for a total, we multiply, boys and girls. So we have each as well. In this instance, it will tell me to multiply. And going over to my chart really quick, my math words chart, we have it here in both the multiplication box and in our division box. But boys and girls, remember that each will change depending if you have a total or not. So we have those 2 words. We have looking for a total. We know that we're going to have to multiply in a way, and we'll come back to that explanation as well. Now let's fill in our numbers that we have. So the first number that we have is $35.13. So that's what Maggie had at the beginning. That's what Maggie had. Okay. Then her mom gave $7.50 for 2 times. For 2 times. When she watched her younger brother. So basically she babysat. Okay, so in this instance, we have the 2 times. And boys and girls, see, there's each. Okay. But before we go into multiplication of decimals or money, what is multiplication? Is it multiplication repeated addition? So if we don't, right now in 4th grade, we're not learning how to multiply with decimals just yet. At least as of the time of the recording, I have not taught you that just yet. You will in the future. But as of the time of this recording, we're only adding decimals or adding numbers with decimals. Okay, so repeated addition is the same thing as multiplication. And what we're saying is that the 2 times means that we're going to repeat the number 2 times. Okay, so we have $7.50 plus $7.50 to equal 0 plus 0, 0. 5 plus 5 is 10, carry over the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 7 is $15. So we have $15, right? And then she started off with $35.13. And that's $35.13. And boys and girls, we have to make sure that we align the decimal dots. And that's what's important whenever we're adding with decimals, is that we align the decimal dots so that where place values are correct. Okay. So 3 plus 0 is 3. 1 plus 0 is 1. I carry down the decimal dot. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry over the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. So my final answer is going to be $50.13. Again, boys and girls, the most important thing in this lesson is that you have to make sure that the decimal dots align with each other. They have to align to make sure that our place values are correct. If for whatever reason, if any of you thought this in your head, $35.13 plus $15, boys and girls, that is wrong. Because in this instance, and let me actually write it in red or circle it in red, that don't do that. Because if you do misplace the decimal point, what you're saying that you, instead of having $15, you have 15 cents. So be careful with that, boys and girls. Make sure your decimal points align with each other, okay? So in SeeSaw, you won't have this next question that's available for you. So boys and girls, make sure that you review it and look at in OneNote, I left you guys the math words for you guys to review. Make sure that you are not being lazy and make sure you describe those numbers. Describe those numbers.